morning warm up here of Way Downtown. All right, so continuing this discussion about bluegrass guitar breaks from the ground up. This is a free handout. You can get this following the link in the description about how to put together bluegrass guitar breaks. And we've talked about a lot of stuff in here. We talked about how everything's going to relate to the lyric. We talked about how you use fills in between the words, where the words would be. And we talked about double stops, and we talked about, a little bit of Carter style, which a lot of what I just played there was Carter style. And now we're going to talk a little bit about cross-picking. And the thing about cross-picking, the way I've seen it taught a lot on the internet is they take one roll, and it's a forward roll, it's a banjo roll, and you say, well, you got two choices. You could go alternating, or you could take a forward roll and go down, down, up. And all that's true, except that I think there's a lot more rolls that are available to us. And so I think Norman Blake has rolls that he uses. I think Sean Watkins has rolls that he uses. I think that all these different great players have different patterns that are not just a repeating pattern of three notes, okay? So whatever rolls that you like, and I've got some in that handout, you practice them over and over and over until they're easy, okay? And then you apply them to a song. And how you apply them to a song is you hold part of the chord and you start the roll on a melody note. So if I'm going way downtown and I say, it was late last night when... So here's my information. I've got a melody note, late last night when... And I've got a chord, it's an F chord. So if I'm going to apply a roll to that, whatever roll I decide to use, I'll use a forward roll right now. It was late. Willie came home. And when do you use a cross-picking roll? Usually you use it when there's like a long melody note, okay? So you usually aren't going to use it on notes that move quickly. But Willie came home. There's a little time to do that. Okay, so I put in a cross-picking roll. I'll tell you a funny story. I think this was told to me by one of my teachers. There's a guy named Cecil Tinnen. He's from Missouri, I think, right around the St. Louis area. And Cecil is a great teacher. I learned so much from Cecil Tinnen. And he told me once that he met Doc Watson and he asked him how to cross-pick. And this story coming third hand now, but he said, now there is a secret to that, son. What you do is you get yourself a tall glass of iced tea and you go sit under that tree. And you practice that, and every once in a while you lean over and you take a sip of that tea. And it's a beautiful way of telling you, yeah, just go work on it. Go woodshed it. Go practice it over and over and over until you can do that. So it's a short lesson on cross-picking here today, which is just, you start on the melody note and you pick a roll and you put it on there. And the only difference I would say is that there's more rolls than we're letting on to. I teach a lot of 4-note cross-picking rolls. And that's more Norman Blake style than it is Doc Watson style or George Shuffler style. But it ends up really even. You know that because a measure has 8 eighth notes in it. 4 plus 4 is 8. Well, by the time you start putting threes in, it's 3 plus 3, that's 6, and then plus 3 is 9. Now I'm already into the next measure. It doesn't come out evenly. Now here's the difference though. That adds syncopation. 3-note rolls are syncopated. So that can be really nice. That can be really nice. So whatever you choose to do, learn some rolls, know how they work. You start them on a melody note, and you roll essentially until the next melody note. Okay? So it's a short lesson on cross-picking, but we're trying to understand an overview of how this works. So I'm going to pick a little bit more on Way Downtown, and let's just see what happens. Little improv session here. One more time. All right, thanks a lot.